e-sport athletes spend in front of the computer, also on their game consoles. And so what happens is this can have a detrimental effect on the emotional and physical well-being. And we're looking at issues such as depression, anxiety, and also risk of chronic disease like heart disease. The e-sport athlete is actually sedentary, but sometimes 5 hours at a time. And this can actually increase to 7 to 11 hours prior to competition.
And what does that do?
Well, it's really difficult to sit for prolonged periods of time without putting stress on the body, also the mind. So from a physical standpoint, being in a sedentary position and puts you at risk for injury and illness. So for instance, sitting for long periods of time can actually affect posture, can lead to neck injuries and also to hand injuries as well. And from an emotional standpoint, this can actually affect the cognitive performance, so problem solving, judgment, memory, attention span.
First, we must know what is e-sports. So, what is e-sports? E-sports are also known as electronic sports. It is a form of highly organized, competitive level gaming using video games. Because of a phenomenal explosion of e-sports, it became popular in recent years. It is a form of competitive video gaming wherein teams of players compete against each other at a professional level in popular video games. The most important aspect of e-sports, it involves in a players competing against each other in a multiplayer environment and by a ranking system which shows where they stand relative to other players. It is a computer-mediated form of sports where players involved in a machine play. E-sports is a built around games and some of the most popular e-sports titles include Minecraft, Fortnite, Overwatch, League of Legends, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Dota, Hearthstone, and more. When we are playing e-sports, do you know the risks about it that will surely affect our health? Playing e-sports, it carries higher risks to our body and possibly affect our brain. Because many players of the e-sports tends to play for almost 8 to 12 hours straight per day. And it may lead to an increase in computer-related injuries, like carpal tunnel syndrome. Let me give you a brief information about this syndrome. Carpal tunnel syndrome is a pressure on a nerve in your wrist. It causes tingling, numbness, and pain in your hand and fingers. Because of the hours straight playing, also a repetitive strain injury, back pains, and worse, several players collapse. Playing e-sports does require longer screen exposure. They become prone to several mental disorders. It doubles the chance of having a depression and anxiety issue, and more of being less attentive. E-sports present risks of having nothing to do with physical exertion, rather than becoming complete lack of it. Also, because of the aggressive nature of video games, we all know that violence appears in a lot of games. It causes the sensation and moral weakening in individual and lowers their ability to empathize. And they can't effectively socialize at all.
Championship for Mobile Legends Bang Bang M2 Myanmar laban sa Pilipinas and now Bren Esports nakakuha sila ng Loyi para kay
So, we are now familiar with the e-sports. Let us know what is sports and how important it is. Sports refers to all forms of physical competitive activity in which an individual or team develop to train their mental and physical activities through casual or organized participation. while providing entertainment to spectators. Sport is to compete with other players in an activity for recreational purposes. Sports refer to all forms of athletic activity that require physical activity and exertion, and often set in a competitive environment. For example, football, bowling, baseball, basketball, tennis, racing, golf, table tennis, and etc. Sport is a game of, or competition needing physical effort and having an active mind. Sports is governed by a set of predefined rules. It is distinguished as activities that may otherwise be labeled as forms of recreation or leisure. The obvious difference between the gameplay of the two is that traditional sports players need two teams of people to play against each other in a physical location and require more physical movement. But for e-sports, players are not even required to be physically present to play the game. All they require is an internet connection to play against one another. How did I come up with the idea that sports is important? Simply because sports require memorization, repetition, and learning skills that are directly relevant. There are many reasons how helpful sports is. Sports teach teamwork and problem solving, skills that we can use in our daily life. Sports can help you reach your fitness goals and maintain a healthy weight. However, they also encourage healthy decision making, such as not smoking and not drinking. Sports boost self-esteem and helps reduce pressure and stress. Sports develop and improve motor as well as cognitive skills. It helps us make friends and develop social skills because sports expose kids to other kids of the same age or group and encourage interaction among them. Sports triggers chemicals in our brain that can make us feel happier and relaxed. Sports provide a chance to unwind and take part in an activity that improves our fitness. Playing sports promotes a better sleep. Sports helps us having a strong heart because our heart is a muscle and it needs a frequent exercise to help it keep fit and healthy. Stronger hearts can improve overall health of our body. Regular sports causes more oxygen to be drawn in the body with carbon monoxide and waste gases expelled. This increases the lung capacity during sport, improving lung function and efficiency. Regular participation in sport and being active can also promote good mental health. This includes improving your mood, enhancing your sense of well-being, reducing anxiety, combating negative emotions, and protecting against depression. Sports enables you to build better relationships with people you may be aware of but not personally known. Through frequent sport, you can get to know a lot about an individual's personality. You will know their strengths and weaknesses. Sports aids the healthy development of children. When they play sport, it develops stronger bones and muscles, leading to a smaller chance of physical injury. The choice is yours. Are you going to pursue playing esports and give up your health? Or are you going to choose sports as part of your life and become physically inclined with sports and start to have a healthy lifestyle by just simply making sports as a hobby?
And watch hentai all the time with